Hi, I'm Alex Lahey and I'm digging in the crates with Cool Accident. Sick. So this is the Spanish edition of ABBA Gold, and I know that there is a bit of a stigma about greatest hits records. I once heard this rumour that apparently in every ABBA song there's 7 hooks. I don't know if that's true, but if you think about like Mamma Mia or something, it's like every single thing that is in that song is a hook. It's pretty amazing, and I love ABBA, and I love Eurovision. This is great. All right, so Hot Fuss by the Killers, a modern classic. I remember hearing this record for the first time when I was about like 12 or 13 years old, and it was the first time that I'd listened to a record of like my own music, like not like my parents' music or something like that. We did a festival last year and I saw them live for the first time. Like, he's just like the ultimate front man, which is almost like a not cool thing to do these days, but he just makes it so cool and effortless, and yeah, it's just an incredible band. Paramore. Someone asked me the other day who my all-time favourite band was. Paramore have been that band for me where they've always been around and I've always listened to them, own every one of their records and love them so, so much, but didn't kind of realise that they were my like favourite band. And so when someone asked me that question, I was like, oh man, it's Paramore. Paramore's my favourite band. Although this is their latest record and it's a ripper, I think that this is like symbolic of every one of their records because they're all so good. I look up to them a lot, and I think that it's awesome that a band can like transform so much through their career but still maintain like their values and sort of sense of identity. Paramore. After Laughter, but also the rest of them. This record, Like Everything by Louise, I reckon was the best Australian record that came out last year, and also potentially the most overlooked. I don't know if that's a good thing to say on camera, but I'm going to say it anyway. Emma has pitched down her vocals through the entire record, and it sort of creates this like, I suppose like androgynous kind of vibe to the timbre of her voice and makes her really hard to peg. And it's also quite jarring when you initially hear it, but then you find yourself very, very comfortable with it. I found it really inspiring just to see an Australian artist take such a big risk with their recording and really own it and just stick to their vision. Yeah, really admire it and really love it. This record by Sheryl Crow, I wanted to use this to symbolise her first album, Tuesday Night Music Club, which was actually never pressed to vinyl. Sheryl Crow is one of the best crossover songwriters, exceptionally talented, an underrated shredder. Bonnaroo last year in Nashville, and we were on the same stage as Sheryl Crow, and I told my band, I was like, you have to go see Sheryl Crow, and they were kind of like not convinced that it was a good idea. Unfortunately, I got scheduled for press for the duration of her set, and they all went and saw Sheryl Crow and their lives were changed. And she, at one point, she's like 50 years old and she's like planking on the stage and like singing simultaneously and having the time of her life. Yeah, I just think Sheryl Crow is awesome. My album that's coming out on the 17th of May is called The Best of Luck Club. And I've kind of referred to it as a bit of a concept album. I think that one of the best concept records of the last, in the 2000s has definitely been The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run, arguably a magnum opus. I reckon I would support that. Fun fact, because Springsteen's first few records weren't particularly commercially successful at the time, his label said that they were only going to give him money to do one song, and then they would see if they wanted to invest in a third record. And the one song that he did was Born to Run, and he hated it so much that he threw the first test pressing of it in a pool, but the label loved it, and so they stuck with it and ended up doing the rest of the record, and the rest is history. So yeah, Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run.